Welcome to the 5 of our free online sewing class. If you are new to this class, check my channel. You will see videos from day 1 to day 4. Today is day 5, and today we'll learn about some basic seam types and how to sew them using your straight stitch sewing machine. A seam is the joining where two or more layers of fabrics are held together with stitches. Either you join them together with your hand and with your needle and thread with hand, or with a sewing machine. Whatever you use does not matter, but when you join them together, it is a seam. Let's talk about a stitch or stitches. When you pass needle and thread through a cloth or a fabric, either with your hand or with your sewing machine, that is what we call stitches. We have different types of stitches. It could be straight stitch, basting stitch, running stitch, back stitch. There are different types. I would not want to bore you with the type of stitches. Since we are working with sewing machine, your normal machine sews a straight stitch. It can also do other type of stitches, but for today I will only teach you how to use the straight stitch to do a seam. And but there's another type of stitch I want to show you. We call it a back stitch. Back stitch is when you want to start sewing, you need to secure it so that it will not lose. If you don't back tack or you back stitch, when you start sewing, it might lose. The clothes might lose eventually. So when you want to start sewing, you need to back stitch. So let's go to our sewing machine so that I can teach you how to back stitch. Alright, this is me on my sewing machine. When I want to start, you see me pressing this lever. When I press it, it goes forward and it goes backward. That is back stitching. So when you want to start, you back stitch. When you want to end your seam, see me pressing it again, it will go back and it will come forward. You can do it 2 or 3 times to make it secure. That way your straight stitch will be secure. Now let's go to our seam. The first seam I'm going to talk about, we call it an open seam. You take your fabric, 2 fabric in this instance, 1, 2, you place them on each other, right side to right side. Then you take it to your sewing machine and using your seam allowance, depending on the allowance you want to use to sew. Once you place them on each other like this, you take it to your sewing machine and you start. We already taught how to do a straight stitch yesterday. So don't forget, when you want to start, you have to back tack. You see me moving forward and backward. Then you go straight. And to achieve this straight sewing, you know what to do. We already dealt with that in I think day 4 of this class. So when you're about to end, also you back stitch. You go forward and backward. Then you cut off your thread. Now the next thing is for this seam, we'll take it to our ironing table and press it open. That is why we call it a open seam. You press it open. You see, this is the right side and this is the wrong side. That was why when we wanted to sew, we put right side to right side. Right side, you put them together. So I'll take it to my ironing table and press open. I will press it open both on the right side and on the left side. Then after pressing it open, I will take it to my overlocking machine and I will overlock it. Why do we overlock? If your material is one that will fray, we call it fray, that is, it is removing its thread. The thread that was used to weave the fabric, it will remove it over time. So you need to overlock your seam allowance. So I just try to press it open, you see. And I must emphasize, although we are still going to talk about pressing or ironing, if you want to do a good job, you know the difference between a village tailor and the one in the city that knows what he or she is doing. It is pressing or ironing. Your iron must be your friend. After your sewing machine, the next thing you must get is a good iron, either your dry iron or a steam iron. Please, ironing as you go, you sew a step, you must take it to the ironing table. You sew the next step, you take it to the ironing table. It makes your work neat and easy. So let's go and overlock the seam allowance now. This is my overlocking machine. I will overlock it. You know it is two, so I will overlock both differently. So this is our open seam. You see, this is our open seam. Let's go to the next seam. We call it a closed seam or a plain seam. It's almost the same thing as the open seam. The only difference is when I am overlocking it, instead of overlocking separately, I will overlock it together. I will do the overlocking together. That is a plain seam or a closed seam. Just watch what I'm doing. You see this type of joining seam, we call them construction seam. But the type of seam that you use to finish the mouth of your seam allowance, like that overlock seam that I just made, we call those ones finishing seam, or you call them M seam. So now I have overlocked it. Did you see I overlocked it together, not separate, together? And I will just press my seam towards one side. I can press it to the right or to the left. So this is what we call a closed seam. This is a closed seam. You see it, I just press the seam allowance towards one side. This is a closed seam. The next seam we are going to talk about is a plain seam with double top stitching. To achieve this, you know how to do a plain seam. So I will place the plain seam now on the right, and I will sew it. You see the way I'm sewing close to that place, that ditch, that hole. I will sew it one time, then I will sew it the second time again. This type of sewing, where you sew on top at it, or on the right side of your fabric, is what we call a top stitch. That is top stitching. We call it top stitching. So you see I've sewn it the first time, then I will now go some distance away from this sewing. You see this is the wrong side. I'm showing you the wrong side. This is the wrong side. So I will now sew it the second time on the surface. This is the right side, so I'll sew it away from that first sewing a little bit. I will sew it on towards the part where my seam allowance is facing, and I will sew it again. That is a plain seam with top stitching, double top stitching. You see I sew it on top of it 2 times. You have seen this on jean. If you have a jean trouser, go and check it. You have something like this on it. So this is another type of seam. It is a decorative seam. You can use it to decorate. You can use another color of thread to achieve it. The next one is what we call French seam. Let's say you don't have an overlocking machine and you want your work to be neat. So I'm writing, this is the right side of my fabric, this is the right side of the second one. So I will place it on top each other. Now the wrong side will face each other. See the way I am doing it? That is the wrong side facing each other. So I'll be sewing it on the right side. And I can use, like, say 1/4 of an inch to sew. I'll just sew the straight stitch. Don't forget, just remember that you will always have to back tack. You have to do the back stitch so that it will secure your stitch. So watch me as I sew. I am using 1/4 of an inch to do this sewing. You can reduce it. So after sewing like this, I will now open it up. You see the way I open it? Now, this is the wrong side. This is the right side. I will now put it on top each other like this, right side to right side now. So away from that stitch, I will now sew it. Now I'm sewing on the wrong side. I'm now sewing it on the wrong side. Can you see? And I will just do my straight stitch. I will not forget to back stitch. So this is the wrong side. I'm sewing it on the wrong side. At the end, you see that the sewing, the first sewing will not show. It is inside. Okay, what do we have? This is the right side of our fabric. You see it? Did you see it? This is the right side of the fabric. And this is the wrong side. Did you see? So the next thing is to take it to the sewing machine, to the ironing table. All right, the next one is flat felled seam. This flat felled seam looks more like the double top stitch plain seam that we've done earlier, but with a slight difference. So what will happen is once one of the fabric will have the seam allowance will be longer than the second one. Right side will be facing each other, and you see, did you see what I'm doing? The lower one came out. So I'll take it to the sewing machine like that. You see the right side, I'm still sewing at the right side with one seam allowance out more than the other. I'll just do my straight stitch. I'll still show you so that you get what I am doing. This type of seam also is common with jean or in anywhere where you want your sewing to show. You see, did you see it? You see one side is higher than the other, then you fold it. You fold it the way I'm folding. First fold, and you fold it again. Remember, this is the right side. You see the RS means the right side. So this is now, it's still at the right side, and you now top stitch it. I told you that top stitching is when you sew on top. That is top stitching. So you now top stitch it so that this it will lie flat. When you check these at the outcome of this and that of the double top stitch plain seam, it looks the same. It looks the same at the right side, but at the wrong side it is not the same. Did you see what we have? Did you see it? See the wrong side. This is the wrong side. You see the wrong side? Yeah, this is the wrong side. Let me bring the other one, the one we did earlier, so that you can see or sight the difference. Now this is the second one. Did you see it? You see this one has an overlocking edge, and you can see the edge of your sewing. This is the one I just did. Okay, let me show you so that you can see it very well. You see the two, they look alike. This one does not have overlocking edge. This one has overlocking edge. The next we'll talk about is a double rolled hem. This double rolled hem, you use it most times to finish the hem of either your skirt or your blouse. That is that double folding at the end of your clothes. If you look at your clothes, you see it. So to get it right as a first timer, take your clothes, either your skirt, your blouse, to the sewing to your ironing table. Then you measure what your fold is. If you like, you can use 1 inch, you can use less than 1 inch or even more. So once you measure it, you iron it so that it can be the same. After ironing to the end, I'll come back to show you the next step, or to explain the next step. Since we call it double rolled hem, then we have to roll it twice. So this is the first fold, the first rolling is the one we just ironed. Now the next thing is I will open it and I will fold it again the second time. You see, you open it, then you fold it, you make sure the folding touches that crease line, that line that we just ironed. This is one type. If you have enough allowance to do this double folding, you do it like this. But I will do at the other side too, but I will make sure I will not make it as big as this, and the folding will not touch that inner crease. Let me do this, then I will explain the second way to do it for you. This double folding works well if you have a thick fabric or a medium textured fabric. But if you have a light fabric like chiffon or organza, there is another method to do it. I will drop the link to that particular video in the description box, so that once you are done with this video, you can watch the other one. It's up on my YouTube channel. I will drop the link on the description box of this particular video. Alright, so I'm just trying to make sure the iron that everything is well pressed. The next thing is take it to the sewing machine and just sew it straight. It's so easy when you do it this way, when you iron it before you do the folding. This is for beginners, but if you're an expert, you don't need to do the ironing. You should be able to just fold and sew directly. But if you want a neater work, it is a way to go. So I just want to show you the second. It's still the same thing, only that if your allowance is not big, if your allowance is not big, you can just do it like this. Now the second fold will not get to that crease line. That crease, this line is what we call crease line. That line that that the iron just made, that's what we call a crease line. So the second one, you just fold it very small. It's not necessary that to get to the crease line. You fold it very small. Then you fold again. You take it to your sewing machine and you just sew it straight. That is what we call a rolled hem seam. And like I said, it is used to finish up your work. When you are done sewing and you want to finish it, check your blouses and your skirts, you see it there. You see it? This is what it looks like. The last one we'll talk about is how to finish your edge with bias tape. You don't have an overlocking machine and you want your work to be neat. After sewing like this, after making your seam like this, you just open it up. You take a bias tape. This is a store-bought bias tape. You can get it in any sewing store and where they sell sewing things. Just tell them you need a bias tape. They will give it to you. It comes in different colors. So you just use it to wrap your edges, the allowance edges, the seam allowance edges, and you just sew it straight. Now if you don't, if you sometimes the store-bought own the sizes might not be what you want. If you want a bigger size, I will drop a link to a video that I made on how to cut a bias tape like a pro, like an expert. I will drop it too in the description box of this video. Just check the description box, you'll see a link to it. So you just use it to tape the allowance and it will give you a nice finishing. You call this type of seam again, another name for it is Hong Kong seam. Hong Kong seam, that is another name for it. I hope you've achieved or you've learned something new in this video. Today, like I said, is day 5 of our 30 days free sewing classes, free sewing tutorial. It is absolutely free. Tomorrow will be another day. See you tomorrow. Bye.